Okay, in this video we're going to talk about how we can use the corner shape cutters to make a piece of paper. First of all, if you're watching this and you need to get in touch with me, if you're not one of my customers, you can reach me through my website at www.mycmsite.com/Tammy, T-A-M-M-Y, Gillespie, G-I-L-L-E-S-P-I-E. And I also have a Facebook group called Tamala, with a T as in Tom, Tamala's Scrapbooking Divas. Okay, the page that we are going to make, just a minute, let me find it. Here it is. Okay, I'm gonna show you how I cut out this shape in the center section. So what I'm gonna do is turn off some of these top layers. Bear with me just a second. Okay, this is from the With Love collection, and all I did was choose this paper and click on the drop down arrow on the right side and make it my background. Now what I'm going to do is choose another piece of paper, and let me show you how I did this. Just a minute. Okay, I used this piece of paper, and this time I used Add to Page. And I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. Okay, and then I'm going to right click and choose Cut Corners. And for this page, I believe the one I used was Decorative 1. Let's try that one and see what it looks like. Now, if you leave the slider over here to the left, as you can see, you're only going to have a small cut in the corners. But if you slide it over, you can get a totally different shape to the piece of the paper, and that's what I did for the one I'm using. And that's how it turned out. And you can, let me undo and show you another one. Let's see, go back to Cut Corners. And we'll try the rounded tab, see how that looks. You can get a lot of different looks from this. That's just another one. I'm going to cut that and turn this back on. And this is the one that I decided to use. Now what I did was right clicked on it, hit copy, right click again and hit paste, and I made another one. And this one I filled in, I used the color sample tool. I highlighted this second one that I had made, went to cut and fill, the color sample tool. Oops, I'm going to have to move this down to show you. Okay, have this highlighted, and I sampled this little stripe of color right here and hit OK, and it fills this in with the color. And then what I did was stretch this one out just a little bit, pulling at the corners to make it bigger so that you could see it underneath. Okay, let's see if I can get that a little bit even again. The next thing I did was take a ribbon, and this is from the With Love Embellishments collection, and I just put it across here, and I added shadow to it. To do that, you go to the Format tab. I used Heavy Shadow on it, and then I right-clicked, flattened, and added more shadow, and I kept repeating the process, and I probably added shadow to it 2 or 3 times to get that effect. Then these hearts are embellishments from the With Love collection. What I did was add those to the page. While they're highlighted, go to the Format tab, then Filters, and the 3D Edge, and I applied that 3 or 4 times to it. And then I added Heavy Shadow to the back of it once or twice, just to make it stand out. The next thing I did was take this piece of paper, and I chose Cut Out a New Shape. And if this, it just happens to be on square, so that's the shape that I want. So I would just hit OK. And then you make it the size that you want. Since I already have one, I'm going to cut that one. And the next thing I did was go to the Insert tab and do Insert Empty Frame. And I just placed it on top of my map, which I already have done. And then I click on that to highlight it and go to Format Photos. And this one I've added shadow to it, so it's not going to let me show you how to mat it. But what you would do is choose the Mat tool right here. And I used the same color. I used this color sample tool to get this color from this mat and used it there. And I think that's about a width of 2 or something. These are embellishments from the With Love, and they were just like flat pieces of paper. What I did was put one on the page, and I went to Format, Filters, and 3D Edge. Did Apply, and I did that several times, and then I copied and pasted to get 2 more, and I lined them up over here, and then I held down my Shift key and selected all 3 of them and added heavy shadow to it. Then I right clicked with them all highlighted and flattened it and added more shadow until I got the look that I wanted. And this title, So in Love, that came from the With Love package. I added it, and I used the color sample tool to match it up to one of these colors and change it. It came in black. And then I used the 3D filter once or twice on it to get a little bit of raised effect on it and make it stand out. And then this heart came from the With Love package. And once again, I added the 3D filter to it a couple of times. It was already kind of 3D. I just added a little bit more to it. And I added shadow to that. I added shadow. Actually, if you hold down your Shift key and you click on the mat and the frame, go to Arrange and hit Group, that's the best way to add shadow if you've already added your photo to it. If you haven't, then don't add shadow and group it together and everything. You won't be able to add your photo. But if you've already added it, then you could just add heavy shadow, flatten, add heavy shadow again, and so forth. And that's pretty much all there is to the page. And I hope that helps. Sorry, it's getting late in the evening and I can't think straight. So I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, just message me. Thank you.